They said he wasn't ready. They said he needed more time. They said NXT needed to protect the roster from what was coming. And you know what? They were absolutely right. Because what Oba Femi has unleashed isn't just dominance, it's systematic annihilation. And the most infuriating part, WWE Creative is doing nothing to stop it. What's up, WrestleScope family, and welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest stories in wrestling without the corporate filter. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're about to expose something WWE doesn't want you talking about. Here's what's got the wrestling world divided right now and why you need to pay attention. Oba Femi isn't just winning matches, he's erasing legacies. He's ending careers. He's rewriting the entire blueprint of what a dominant champion looks like in 2025. And the most controversial part, he's doing it with zero consequences. Think about this for a second. When was the last time you saw a wrestler in WWE's system literally destroy everyone in their path without a single believable threat on the horizon? When was the last time NXT had a monster so unstoppable that even the commentary team sounds genuinely concerned about the safety of whoever steps in the ring with him? The answer is never. Not at this level. Not with this consistency. Not with this level of physical dominance that makes Braun Strowman's monster run look tame by comparison. And here's where it gets really interesting, and why I know some of you are already typing in the comments section. The IWC is split down the middle. Half of you are celebrating this as the second coming of a true monster heel. The other half are furious, claiming WWE is burying the entire NXT roster just to build up one guy. Both sides are passionate, both sides have receipts, and both sides might actually be right. So buckle up, because we're about to break down exactly how Oba Femi went from promising prospect to the most controversial force in NXT, why his path of destruction has people questioning WWE's entire developmental philosophy, and what this means for the future of everyone involved. Let's start from the beginning, because Oba Femi's rise didn't happen overnight, even though it feels like it did. When he first showed up, we saw the potential, the size, the athleticism, the presence, but nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted this. The North American Championship reign wasn't just successful, it was suffocating. 237 days of absolute dominance. But here's what makes it different from every other long title reign in NXT history. It wasn't about clever escapes or fluky wins or authority figure protection. This man walked through every challenger like they were training dummies. Let's run through the body count because it's genuinely staggering. D-Jack, demolished. Joe Coffey, broken. Josh Briggs, hospitalized. Tyler Bate, one of the most beloved wrestlers in NXT, got ragdolled like he weighed nothing. And we're supposed to believe these are the best wrestlers in the developmental system? But wait, it gets worse. Or better, depending on which side of this debate you're on. After finally losing the North American Championship, did Oba Femi take a step back? Did he show vulnerability? Did WWE give the roster time to recover? Nope. He immediately set his sights on bigger game, the NXT Championship. And here's where the path of destruction goes from impressive to absolutely terrifying. Because now he's not just beating mid-card guys, he's dismantling main event talent with the same ease. Now, before you flood the comments telling me I'm just a hater or just a mark, let's talk about why Oba Femi is so effective. Because understanding the how makes the what even more impressive and more concerning. First, the physical tools. This man is 6'4", 270 pounds of pure muscle and moves like he's 6', 200 pounds. When was the last time you saw someone that size hit a pop-up powerbomb with that much velocity? When was the last time you saw someone catch a diving opponent mid-air and transition into a fall-away slam without even stumbling? The answer is you haven't, at least not consistently. That's what makes Oba Femi special, and frankly, what makes him dangerous to work with. Not dangerous in a sloppy way, but dangerous in the sense that there's nothing his opponents can do that looks believable as offense. And that brings us to the real controversy, the psychology of his matches. Or should I say, the lack of psychology that traditional wrestling fans are accustomed to. Because Oba Femi matches don't follow the standard formula. There's no comeback spots. There's no hope spots. There's barely any selling. It's just systematic destruction from bell to bell. Some of you love this. You're tired of the 50-50 booking. You're tired of everyone looking equal. You want your monsters to actually be monsters. And Oba Femi is delivering that in spades. But others, and I hear you loud and clear in every comment section, feel like this is killing the entire roster's credibility. How is anyone supposed to move up from NXT when they've been made to look like absolute jokes against this one guy? How does Tyler Bate, who had classics with Ilya Dragunov and was being positioned as a future main event star, recover from getting tossed around like a crash test dummy? Here's where this story takes a turn that I don't think WWE fully thought through, and this is the part where longtime wrestling fans start getting really uncomfortable with the parallels. Let me paint you a picture. Dominant monster heel. Check. Destroys everyone without breaking a sweat. Check. No believable challengers in sight. Check. Commentary constantly putting over how unstoppable he is. Check. Does this sound familiar? Because if you've been watching wrestling for more than 5 minutes, you know exactly where this formula goes. Goldberg, early Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman before they ruined him, Karrion Kross in NXT 2.0, Walter during his UK Championship reign. All of these guys ran this exact playbook, and all of them hit the same wall eventually, the wall of, okay, what now? Because here's the dirty secret about monster booking that WWE never seems to learn. It works great in the short term. It pops ratings, it creates buzz, it gets people talking, but it also paints you into a creative corner that's almost impossible to escape from. If Oba Femi keeps destroying everyone, eventually you run out of challengers. Eventually the audience gets bored with the predictability. And eventually when you do decide to beat him, you've built him up so strong that whoever beats him either has to be an even bigger monster, which starts the cycle all over again, or they beat him in a way that feels completely unbelievable and kills both guys' credibility. And before you say just call him up to the main roster, let's be real about what that means. We've seen what happens when NXT's unstoppable monsters hit the main roster. The track record is not good. For every Roman Reigns that works out, there's 10 Karrion Kross disasters, 10 guys who dominated NXT and then got fed to established main roster stars within months. Let's talk about something WWE definitely doesn't want us discussing, the elephant in the room. What happens to everyone else in NXT while Oba Femi is on this warpath? I've been watching NXT for years, through every iteration, every rebrand, every philosophy change, and I've never seen a roster look more demoralized on screen than they do right now when Oba Femi's music hits. And here's the thing, I don't think that's entirely acting. Think about the wrestlers who have been sacrificed on the altar of building up Oba Femi. These aren't jobbers, these aren't enhancement talent. These are guys who are supposed to be the future of WWE. Tyler Bate should be heading to the main roster for a run with the Intercontinental Championship. Instead, he's recovering from getting demolished by someone WWE clearly values more. Josh Briggs was being rebuilt as a credible big man. Now he's just another name on the list. D-Jack had years of indie credibility and could have been a main event player. Now he's looking at a possible release because WWE has decided they only need one unstoppable big man, and it's not him. This is the part that genuinely makes me angry as someone who loves this business. Because every time WWE does this, every time they sacrifice 10 wrestlers to build one, they're making a bet that the one is going to work out. And historically, that bet fails more often than it succeeds. So where does this go from here? What's the end game? Because if there isn't one, if WWE is just doing this because big strong man wins is the easiest story to tell, then we've got a serious problem. The optimistic take, this is all building to something massive. Maybe there's a babyface being carefully protected right now who's going to rise up and finally stop Oba Femi in a moment that creates a new main event star. Maybe this is the long-term storytelling we've been begging WWE to do for years, and we just need to be patient. The pessimistic take, WWE has no plan beyond Oba Femi is unstoppable, and they're going to ride this until the wheels fall off, then panic book his first loss in a way that satisfies nobody and damages multiple careers in the process. We've seen this movie before. The realistic take, it's probably somewhere in the middle. Triple H and Shawn Michaels running NXT are smarter than people give them credit for. They've built sustainable stars before, but they've also gotten caught up in Monster of the Month booking that didn't work out. What I do know is this, the wrestling world is watching. Social media is buzzing. Every Oba Femi match trends. Every destruction segment gets millions of views. Love him or hate him, Oba Femi has people invested. And in 2025, when attention spans are shorter than ever, that's worth its weight in gold. So here's my final question for you, WrestleScope family. Is Oba Femi's Out of Destruction the best thing happening in NXT right now, or the worst? Is this the monster booking we've been asking for, or the burial of an entire roster we should be worried about? And most importantly, who can possibly stop him at this point? I want to hear your takes in the comments below. Are you Team Oba Femi or Team everyone else? Do you think WWE has a plan, or are they making it up as they go? Give me your hottest takes, your booking ideas, your predictions for how this ends. And listen, if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of wrestling fan this channel is built for. Someone who thinks critically about the product, who isn't afraid to question the booking, and who genuinely cares about where this business is heading. So do me a favor, smash that like button to let me know you want more deep dives like this. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we break down the next big controversy. And share this video with someone who needs to understand why Oba Femi is the most polarizing figure in wrestling right now. I'm your host at WrestleScope, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep watching, keep thinking, and never stop questioning the narrative.